Good evening, everybody. Welcome along to TORL. It is time for the Hungarian Grand Prix here this evening from the Hungaroring, of course, a classic Formula 1 track. My apologies for being a little bit tardy this evening. I've had to take my entire setup out and then put it all back in again today, along with completely upping out my room. So I apologise for being slightly late, but it could have been much worse than missing just the first few runs in qualifying. So we are still here for the Hungarian Grand Prix. Here we go. Let's have a look at the calendar. It's the 10th of August. It's round 4. We've been to Barcelona, we've been to the Circuit Jules Villeneuve, and we have been to Qatar for the first sprint race of the season. It means that the Hungaroring plays host to a race at the end of the first third of the season, and it'll set us up for our trip to Paul Ricard next week. Now, I mean, as we get on to, we've got about 3.5 minutes. Most people are on in-laps before they go for the final push runs in this session, so we haven't missed too much here, which is all well and good. Bocky might be the next one on that, but it'll give me a chance to talk about the championship standings, because Michael Dale is our championship leader. He's on 53 points, with Ratio in second on 35, and those two are currently first and second. Smoking Cheese is third, and Lemons is fourth. Cheese with 34 and Lemons with 25, and they are the top four as well. So the top four in the championship, the top four on the track. Then we've got a four-way tie on 21 points. Radius, Imri, 10th Cannon, and Jaden, of which I believe only Jaden isn't here. Imri is here. Yes, he is. Then 10th Cannon is here. And Radius as well. So I just think it's Jaden who we're missing from that top 8. Wardy, Arbon, and C1 Tempe fan finishing off the top 11 with iLegends and Michelle in the top 13. Bocky is 14th, which means we've got 13 of the top 14 in the championship here this evening. So wonderful stuff. Nearly everyone who's anyone in this championship is in attendance, which is wonderful to see. If there is a slight echo on the stream, I can only apologise for it. Some soundproof equipment will be required, but as I said, putting it all back in today wasn't going to be a surefire thing whether there'd be a big echo or not. And if you can't hear an echo, even better, because you just think I'm waffling completely. But yeah, if there is a bit of an echo, I can only apologise, but I will see what can be done about it. Right, we'll go with Dean then. Just a couple of minutes left in this session. If the drivers are in the pit lane now, they've got to get out very quickly, and you can see a big train of cars leaving the pit lane. And they're not leaving a lot of time on the table here, but we'll see Dean, who I believe will be one of the first drivers across the line. He's about a quarter of a second up at the moment. That might put him into the top 7 in front of Wardy and Imri, of course. Dean, he missed last week at Qatar, but he's back for this Hungarian Grand Prix. 35 laps around this Hungarian circuit will decide who takes the crown. But let's see, Dean's time, where does he go? P5 in the end. Another nice improvement for him. Goes just in front of C1 Tempe fan and into the top 5. Bocky retires in that pit lane, and we see an Alpine of Touch Me Pope crossing the line to start a lap. There's outlaps for the Alpine drivers. There's outlaps for both of the Williams as well. The Alpha Tauris. A Ratio might be on a lap here. Yes, he is, coming into the final 2 corners. He's just over a 10th up at this stage. Let's see him come around this final corner. Keep it as tight as you can to that inside line. Onto the exit curb and then run it out to the line. And Ratio goes even faster. 14.8. A quarter of a second he improves by, and he now leads by over 4 tenths to Michael Dale, who is yet to set his time. The drivers are all coming around the final corner now to make sure they get the time, and they're going to comfortably get to the line in time, as I think that was Imri going up into P4 just behind his teammates Lemon. Smoking Cheese will be next across the line. He'll be the last one before the flag flies, and he goes P2, 15 flat. That's a good improvement for him, and that puts him onto the provisional front row of the grid. Arbon will come towards the line. Can he put himself into the top 9? He puts himself into the top 6, 15.5. Good improvement to the end for him. Dean comes into the pit lane, which means we'll then see Pope coming around the final corner. Not set a representative lap time yet at all. Where can this time, the single time, go? He goes up into third, just behind his teammate. 15.247 for him. Then we'll come back to Michael Dale. He's not improving through the first couple of sectors. The championship leader, is he going to be starting from the second row? Could be further back if Lemons can improve as well. Let's see, final corner for Michael Dale. Can he find some time in that final sector? He finds just a few hundredths of a second, and it's not enough. He stays in P4. Ginger Nut invalidates the lap time. He won't be improving at all. Wardy is coming. Oh, I don't know what's happening for Wardy, but that is not the fastest time around that final corner. Then we look then back to C110P fan, who has invalidated the time. We'll look for Lemons. Lemons is the one we're looking at because he might have the pace for pole. Let's see, to the line he comes. He goes third. He can only go behind Ratio and Smoking Cheese. I think 10th Cannon, he won't improve on 13th either, and that will be that for this qualifying session. It is Ratio on pole. Smoking Cheese is second, with Lemons third and Pope fourth. Michael Dale fifth and Imri in sixth. An intriguing top six then. Not too much between the times. Not too much between the times through this short qualifying session. Ratio, Smoking Cheese and Lemons are your top three though. And Ratio does seem to have a little bit of an advantage at the moment. Alpine's going well, the Alpha Tauri's going well, and the Aston Martins as well. 6 of those cars in the top 10, and the 8, if you include the 2 Alpha Tauris, are in the top 11. Just 1 Williams, 1 Haas, and the single Red Bull. There we go. I was looking up and down that, trying to work out who the last one was. But yes, 4 teams in the top 11, and it's good stuff from Ratio. It's good stuff from Smoking Cheese. I hope Smoking Cheese retires. There he does. So we can save those few extra seconds. But yeah, Ratio on pole. He'll start from the front of the grid, and we'll have to continue to see if Ratio can get a good start off of the line, because there he is. Fastest time, the Northern Irish driver in front of the 5 who they say British. I mean, the top 9 are all technically British, but 1 Englishman, 1 Northern Irishman, and 7 Brits in that order. Michelle is the first non-British driver, and he's in 10th, with Bocky in 12th. And then you look down, is there anybody else? Yeah, Kraljevic is in 16th, so only the 3 non-Brits in this race. Very British dominated this evening, but it's Ratio on pole. Smokey second and Lemons in third. I'll be back in a couple of minutes time for the start of this one, but do not go anywhere, because this is surely going to be an intriguing Hungarian Grand Prix. 35 laps around the Hungarian yet to come. Don't go anywhere. I will quickly come back to say that I've just been notified that we are going to be restarting the lobby. So I'll chuck the calendar slide back up, just like so. And then we will give it a break. We will wait for the lobby to restart it. I will be back when we're back in. But in the meantime, don't go anywhere. This is surely going to be an exciting Hungarian Grand Prix, and we'll see who takes the flag when we start in hopefully 5-10 minutes time. Right then, welcome back everybody. I think we're going to be going very, very shortly. And then we will be starting. I think someone's ready up early, and there we go. Someone that's not going to be too pleased. Let's see, 5 red lights here. I don't know if we might have another restart, but we are away, and it is Ratio, who takes a very nice start off of the front of the grid, but Smoking Cheese looks like it's coming out the inside. I think Smoking Cheese might just have it to the inside of turn 1 here. Lemons and Michael Dale fighting it out as well as they come into turn 1. That's late braking from Pope around the outside, but Smoking Cheese has controlled the inside line. Ratio will have the inside line for turn 2 though, and Cheese is going to have to walk his way around the outside if he wants to take the lead back again, and he's not going to be able to do it. He has a bit of a moment actually, and that's going to allow Michael Dale to check up and Lemons to slip through up on the inside through turn 3. And so Lemons has made some good progress off the start. Michael Dale falling back just that little bit, but everyone's got through the first sector. No one has had any big boo-boos so far. Radius up 6, Legends up 5. Good starts for the McLarens at this stage of the race. I didn't know exactly Michael Dale had a great start. And Lemons was getting back past him, but let's get the tyres up for you, some telemetry as well. So, mediums to the top 4, but then 6th and 7th as well. But real mix in the strategy. We've got 1, 2, 3, 6 soft runners, 3 hard runners, and that means 8 medium runners. So it's a real split in the strategy here. Not one tyre has any majority over the rest. We'll have to find out. We're going to get a flag in sector 3. That is C1 Tempe fan, who was spun around at the final corner. There's a problem for Radius at the moment. He is dropping. I think him and Wardy have been fighting on this opening lap. They are 3 seconds behind Pope, and Wardy's going to get through here. So's Legends, and can Legends get 2 into the one corner? Into turn 1, he goes inside line for the McLaren driver. Can he pull this one off early on in this race for P8 as they emerge through towards turn 2? I think he has, and he's going to be up into P8. He's past Wardy on those hard tyres. And he'll hope to pull away here because there is a big gap between himself and Pope in front. But look at the train behind. Nose to tail all the way back to P16 here as Fan's got a little bit of work to do. But up at the front, Ratio's got a bit of a gap now to Smoking Cheese. Lemons and Michael Dale very, very, very close together. Michael Dale maybe even looking through it in this middle sector, which shows how close he is getting. We've got a spin at the back. Oh dear, big crash. Michelle and... Oh, we've got a safety car. Michelle and Kraljevic have come together. I don't quite know what's gone on there, but we have got a safety car very early on in this race. I'm just going to try and find out what happened there between Michelle and Kraljevic between turn 6 and turn 7. Kraljevic has said so sorry, and Michelle says he was set into a wall. So I think it's quite conclusive on who's to blame there. Radius and Arbin into the pit lane to maybe fix some damage, change tyres, definitely. But it's going to give C1 Tempe fan a chance to get back up into that DRS train as we have a safety car on lap 3 of 35 here in Hungary. So an early one, but we'll have to see how this changes the race. Most of the drivers not making a pit stop. We've still got 15 runners, and we will carry on going. Of course, MotoGP points in this championship, so it'll be everyone scoring points if they make it to the flag. So that'll be in the back of their minds, I'm sure, as they know that, you know, no silly mistake, they'll still pick up some points for this race. Oh, so the reason that Radius looks like he's got a lack of pace is that he doesn't actually have a setup because the game hasn't applied it for him, which is absolutely wonderful. And it's exactly what he wants, really. Right then. So, we'll get on to lap 4. You'd hope the safety car's in at the end of this lap. of course, as it can be. Crosses the line now. As, yeah, big night for some of these guys. Of course, got a wonderful grid of drivers. Of course, some of these guys really know how to do it in TORL. We've got champions in the form of Cheese and Lemons in second and third. Michael Dale ran it close in season 4. And from our partner league, Orion, Emery also showed the pace in season 1 over there, so he knows how to do it. Of course, Steven Tempe fan as well was the champion last season, season 6. So he's the one with the pedigree. Right then, lap 4 of 35. Will the safety car be in at the end of this lap? Yes, it will. Wonderful stuff. So we'll be getting back to racing very, very shortly indeed. That big gap for Legends has been eradicated, so he's not going to... Oh, he's overtaken Pope. And Imri's got and Dean's got a 5-second time penalty. Oh no, well that's just unfortunate. They can't be removed, of course, because they will have to come into the pit lane at some stage, and they will serve them in the pit lane. So that is good news for Pope. Although it seems like he was caught up in that instant. Cheese has got to remember, you're not allowed to go side by side, but there goes Ratio into the final corner. Very good restart from him. Incredibly good restart. 3-4 through the final corner. That's not going to give you the traction you require when you're going at slow speeds like that for Smoking Pigeon. He's going to come under immediate pressure here. Here comes Lemons, outside line. That's an awful camera angle there. Can he take it in towards turn 1? Michael Dale's got a good view of this. Will he be able to capitalise on these two fighting it out? Lemons to the inside. I think he should have this done. He'll have the inside line for turn 2, just as Ratio did on the opening lap. And yes, Lemons is able to defend that into turn 2. Oh, but a little bit of a snap of oversteer means that Smokey's has to check up a little bit. Can't quite accelerate in the way that he would have wanted to, and has to back off just that little bit. But he's so close to the back of that Alpine car. He looks pretty keen to get past. Up 5 of 35. Pope, who had to pit there, he must have hit someone. And Cannon as well have both come under in some form of incident, as they are right at the back of the field. But for everyone else, they are still battling it out here. That yellow in sector 1, I think, was for Pope, who's had an awful line through turn 3. May have made a bit of an error through turn 3 itself. But as they come through the final few corners, right, Lemon's fastest lap, quicker than Ratio that time around off the safety car restart. Is Michael Dale going for it? He's going for the inside line. He thought about it and then committed later on. Michael Dale is going to have the outside line for turn 2 if Smoky doesn't even sweep in front of him, which he doesn't. Leaves him the space, but I don't think he'll be able to walk around the outside from that far back. Hope into the pit lane again. Oh, I'm sure that will be a retirement for him. He's had a good night. That's a bit wide. That might be a warning. Yes, Pope has retired in the pit lane, so no safety car worries for that. Pope, I think Pope is saying that the game didn't actually change his wing when he came into the pit lane, so that is incredibly unfortunate for him, and that is why he has taken an early exit. On a nice warm bath, console your sorrows is really the best advice I have. Although to be fair, I've only ever actually retired in 3 league races, and in all 3 times the other driver involved in the incident was declared predominantly to blame. So I don't really know what it's like to retire in the pit lane because I've never done it before. But then again, I sit in this little room, lovely room, talking into a microphone. Hopefully it's for someone's benefit somewhere in the world. Bocky retired and left the session. That car is stopped at the end of the pit lane. Slightly concerning. Hopefully that disappears before anything is caused. And there it goes. Yeah, so everyone is happy. As we are on lap 7 of 35 here. About a fifth of the way through this race. We will be when we cross that line for ratio. Oh, rear end going away from Michael Dale. You don't feel that Smoking Cheese has the pace at this stage of the race. DRS will be enabled here for the Aston Martin and championship leader. Let's see, Smoking Cheese defends very harshly to the inside there. Can Michael Dale find a line? Maybe around the outside. If he can hold it around the outside into 1. Oh, he tries it, but Smoking Cheese tries to squeeze in. Bit of a switchback move might help him out here, but nothing on traction. That car doesn't want to stick under him with that traction, so that's not going to work out for him at all. Radius is getting past Arbin down towards turn 2, and we see a little bit more fighting with Wardy and Legends. Wardy trying to go around all the way the outside of Legends, and he does so as he gets into turn 3 and P7 on that hard compound tyre. Fan is sniffing around as well, of course. A wise man, he knows what he's doing in this league. He's a champion. Last season he was the champion in his Ferrari. This season moving to Aston Martin, and he's got a very strong teammate in the form of Michael Dale to very possibly help him towards another constructors title if he can also string some finishes together. You sense that these soft tyres are starting to fall away here. You see the medium has that much more grip in the mid corner through turn 11, but not this time around. But Legends is going to lose that DRS on the back of Wardy, and it's just going to be a bit of a sitting duck move, you'd have thought, for Fan to try and get past in it. Radius wasn't able to get past Arbin, and through that middle section he's really struggled. I think he's on a lower downforce setup than you'd normally see at Hungary, so he's got a good straight line speed, but in the corners it's an absolute boat. You see Michael Day is getting past Mokeed inside at turn 1, but we're going to watch this overtake. Fan outside line on Legends as they come towards turn 1. Can Legends fight it? He's trying to, but can't seem to do very much at all, and that's a big error. That is a big mistake. He gets a bit of oversteer, and that puts him onto the grass, allows Arbin through, and gets Radius to close right up onto his rear wheel as well. But there we go. Smoking Cheese is back. Oh, and Radius, though, has spun at turn 2. Must have been all on his own, and will slip back to P12 now. But, I mean, Smoking Cheese is falling away here already for Michael Dale. Nearly out of the second. Is out of the second already. And dropping fast, but a nice line through turn 9. Turn 8, I should say. Oh, that was turn 9. Gives him a bit of an incentive to maybe get that DRS on this occasion, but the chances are slipping away. Lemons is in the DRS as well of ratio. So, a lot can be done in the next few laps. Lap 9 of 35 we're on now. And that is now a quarter of the race completed in the books. Legends into the pit lane for a set of hard compound tyres. Yeah, those softs were starting to die. You wonder when Imri and Gingernup will come in for their own pit stops off of that soft compound tyre. You'd think it would be soon, especially as Gingernut's has been overtaken by Radius here. You can just see through turn 3 there, the rear end. That Williams car starting to slide about, moving around when he doesn't want it to, but Radius as well. Not having a comfortable time on those mediums, but that might be more down to his setup rather than anything else. Lemon's not really being able to use that DRS to his advantage just yet. Just about clinging into the DRS at this stage, but didn't close at all on that lap. If anything, lost about a tenth of a second or so. Right then, through turn 3 we plunge. Lemon still on the back of Ratio. Let's have a quick look back at the battle for P7 here. Wardy, Arbon and C110P Fan. I feel like Arbon has got past Fan there, if I'm not heavily mistaken, as Fujinat has come into the pit lane. Imri surely going to follow soon, only dropping time to Dean at this stage of the race, and Wardy is going, there he is, just going across the picture there. Then this train for 7th, 8th and 9th comes across the camera. And that will be for, I do believe, 9, 8 and 7 points respectively, under this MotoGP point system that the Takeover Racing League are using this season. Out of the final corner we go. Can anyone make inroads on this lap? Lap 12 of 35 for these guys now. Arbin not really closing to Wardy too heavily, as that gap stagnates for the moment between Imri and Wardy. Oh, as Imri. Oh, Imri's had a big moment there. Imri, big moment. He's had a puncture maybe? No. Just a big moment for the Alfa Romeo driver. And that's going to send him a couple of positions back, and it's going to give Fan the incentive. You can see those tyres actually from here. They do not look healthy at all. You can just see him absolutely no grip in the Alfa Romeo. He's definitely going to be pitting at the end of this lap. Really sliding around now in his Alfa Romeo car. That soft tyre is not the tyre to go on. He'll try and go on the hardest to the end of the race though. Might get a little bit of an undercut, but those tyres will be older. We'll start losing that time once again. Let's see. Oh, he didn't come into the pit lane. I looked away thinking he didn't come into the pit lane. Arbon in front, you can just see getting in front of Imri. But Fan not quite able to get through on this occasion. Maybe on the exit of turn 1. Can he get a better exit with the tyres? Absolutely not. He gets an awful exit out of that corner, and Imri is very much safe towards turn 2. But Arbon on his medium tyre, he's already pitted in this race. Yeah. It's not going to work out well for him. I mean, we've realistically got a top 9 at the moment. And then the rest. Radius is 12 seconds back. Legends 13. Another 10. 10th Cannon another 20. But, you know, still work to be done for the guys at the front. The gaps are still are there, but they are still yet to finish anywhere near even half distance in this race. We've gone through a third of the race, however. So the midway point is in sight for some of these guys. Ray is getting past Imri in the pit lane. No, and Imri still chasing those tyres. Will he get out in front of Legends, though? That's going to be an interesting question. And I don't think he will. No, Legends is definitely going to get him here. Yeah, by quite a distance as well. But it means Imri's got a little bit of clean air, not too much. I'm sure he will catch and pass Legends pretty quickly, you'd have thought. Wardy, that gap has meant Fan's got some work to do to catch back up to the DRS of Wardy, who's behind Arbon still. Of course, that 5-second time penalty as well, I think, for Imri must have been that cost him some more time. Cheese on those medium tyres as well. Early to go to a medium tyre, you'd have to say, because I believe he was on a hard, wasn't he? No, he's got medium. So, smoking cheese. He's committing to the 2-stop here, which is interesting, because it seems like a lot of the other guys are going for the 1-stop. Starting lap 15 we are. Wardy still close to the back of Arbon, but not quite close enough to make that move. Let's see to turn 3 now. He's not going to be anywhere near close enough. We'll follow Imri, trying to get past Legends, but I don't think Legends is going to be able to put up much of a fight here from the Alfa Romeo driver. He's got over a second on this lap alone. ERS flowing, but he is defending that little bit there. Is the McLaren driver, but look at the speed here of the Alfa Romeo. Inside line for Imri, he'll control it down into the first corner. Ooh, but not the ideal line and a big snap of oversteer. He's going to have to wait another lap to get this one done. We'll still follow him. We'll still see how he can get on here. Lap 16 of 35 here at the Hungary. Ratio still leads from Lemons. He's pulled that gap out just that little bit. He's pulled out of the DRS of last week's race winner. Of course, the race winner around the Qatar Lusail International Circuit. Inside line, maybe into 11 for Imri. That'd be one I haven't seen before, but he can't quite go for it. Fastest lap for Smoking Cheese. Maybe answering some questions as to why he's chosen the strategy that he has. Could he come out in the lead after the pit stops? We'll have to wait and find out. DRS now enabled once again for Imri. He'll hope to not make the same mistake twice. Maybe got to be a little bit more aggressive with the move. Overtake following for the Alfa Romeo driver. Outside line this time around against Legends. He's going to hold it all the way around the outside, which will give him the inside line for turn 2 if he needs it. But Legends, a bit of oversteer on the exit, causes a little bit of contact, but Imri is going to sail through towards turn 2, and I think it's going to wave bye-bye to the McLaren driver as quickly as he possibly can. And try and get up the road towards Radius, who is 11 seconds behind, but Imri should be going to the end of this race. You'd expect Ratio 11's Michael Dale, Dean, C1 Tempe Fan and Radius to all pit for hards at some stage in this race. Let me just double check actually. Let's have a quick look at the strategies. Radius could go medium in fact to the end as well, which is something that we very well might see him do. If he can extend that stint just a couple more laps, then we will see him in, I'm sure. C1 Tempe Fan, first one into the pit lane off of that medium tyre, surely going into a hard from here. Would make sense. Yes, he does. He does 16 laps on that medium. We'll do 19 on the hard. And he will come out just behind Radius. Comfortably ahead of Imri, though, who got held up with that time penalty. And by Legends as well. Dean's 3-second time penalty. That is actually a penalty. That means he's got 8 seconds hanging over his head. He's going to fall back into the Arp and Wardy battle when they finally pit, and Wardy will find himself on a medium tyre as well. So that'll work nicely for the AlphaTauri driver. But they've got to be wary of Smoking Cheese. Smoking Cheese is arriving very quickly on the scene. He's only 21 seconds off of the leaders here. But of course he has got that one stop to go, surely for a soft tyre at the end of the race. So Imri passing Radius there. I think Radius will win in a moment. And do the mid-corner is just a lot of time. Legends 3-second time penalty will also lose some time. Arvin is into the pit lane for some half, maybe trying to cover off the charge of C1 Tempe Fan. We're going to follow C110P fan if he comes around the final corner and across the line to see if he can be close enough to make the move on Arbin. But Arbin's gone on to a medium. Oh, of course he could do that, couldn't he, Arbin? Because I think he started on that soft. Is Fan close enough? I don't think he is. They're going to be right side by side, though, in the apex of turn 1. And Fan's got those warmed up tyres. Will he be able to use them to his advantage? Yes, he will for the time being. But Arbin fights back. They're going to be side by side as they come down towards turn 2. Can Arbin hang it all the way around the outside on those fresh medium tyres? He might just about be able to. Inside line for 3 for the Haas driver, and they're going to be going side by side up the hill towards turn 4. Is one of them going to blink? C110P Fan's got the inside line, but does back out just that little bit. But Arbin goes wide. Fan pushes him a little bit wide as well, and Arbin does finally back out as they go through towards turn 5. Great battling between the two of them here, as we see Ratio into the pit lane. He blinks ahead of Lemons, and we'll have to see where he comes out in relation to Smoking Cheese particularly, who is surely going to get past Wardy down the straight here. He's got the pace. He'll have the DRS. He'll probably use some of the DRS as well. Look at the exit he's got to boot. Let's see. I don't think he'll be ahead here of Ratio. He's going to see the Alpha Tower driver coming out of the pit lane. Oh, he might just be just about. And Wardy's going to come out in front of his teammate as well, but it's not by much. And there we go. Through turn 1 they go. Smoking Cheese is ahead. That is critical for his race to be ahead. He's got to use those medium tyres while they last before he comes in for a set of softs towards the end. But you think Wardy might jump quite quickly out of the way, maybe by hitting at the end of this lap to not lose Ratio too much time. Oh, that's a spin maybe of it. Yes, it is Legends out of the final corner as off the back end. And that is not going to help his cause whatsoever. He's not going to be able to gain up towards the back of him. That's Ratio getting past Wardy. Yeah, Wardy letting his teammate pass towards turn 6 and 7. Fan on the back of Arbin then. Arbin on those medium tyres. Let's just quickly see who has already changed tyres. So Lemons hasn't, so the top 3 need to change. The top 4 all require a pit stop. Wardy does as well, but then everyone else is free to go to the end of the race if they wanted to. I'm sure Radius will want to pit. But apart from that, I think everyone is going to the end. So the top 4, Wardy and Radius, are the 6 drivers we are looking for to come into the pit lane. Those guys might be looking for a soft tyre to the end. That might cause Ratio a bit of race time. We'll have to wait and find out. Wardy's going to come out surely on a medium tyre. Will he come out in front of Imri though? That's going to be a big question. But to pull into his grid spot, well, he's actually got quite a long way to go for his grid box, and I think he's going to be behind Imri, judging by this. Arbin fast snap with an 18.2 on those fresh medium tyres. Wardy just about to come out of the pit lane, but he is going to be behind Imri here. Not by too much, but by enough. And we see him come out onto the racetrack, and he's about a second and a half behind the Alfa Romeo driver there. Right then, we've got Legends into the pit lane. Is that going to be a retirement or changing tyres? It might be changing tyres, but he's had a torrid time on those hards. Might go back to a medium if he wants to. I'm sure that will get him to the end, and he does go back into a medium tyre. But the top 4 I should say, and Radius, I think we're going to be seeing in the pit lane before the end. And talking of Radius, that's a 3-second time penalty for him, as he has made a mistake somewhere. He's lost quite a lot of time to the back of Wardy. Dean's coming to the pit lane finally to get off those medium tyres. Is he going onto a soft? You'd have thought so. Doing 20 laps on those mediums means only 15 on the soft. You can't imagine him doing 15 on a hard. Let's see what he goes on to. It is a soft indeed, and he is going to go to the end on that softest compound that the FIA, that Pirelli have brought to this TORL Hungarian Grand Prix. Here comes Wardy though on the outside of Imri. Goes straight past him through towards turn 1, but Imri defends the inside. Wardy will have to have another go if he can towards turn 2, because defending from Imri will prevent him having a good run. But here comes Wardy inside line at turn 2. Can this be the move for the Alpha Tauri driver? He's on the medium tyres, got to get it done quickly. Imri tries to stick it around the outside and will still be on the inside through turn 3. But surely he's going to have to pull out towards turn 4. There's no point fighting around the outside there, and yeah, Wardy has the place. He's up into P7 on that medium tyre, and he will continue his charge towards C110P fan, who is on that hard tyre. Lemons now into the pit lane. How much damage has it done to his time compared to Smoking Cheese and Ratio here? Ratio's right on the back of Smoking Cheese. We're going to have to watch this one as well, because Ratio might come out just in front of Lemons and will overtake Smoking Cheese in the process. Through goes Ratio and Smoking Cheese. You can see Lemons emerging from the pit lane back there on a soft compound tyre. Michael Dale and Smoking Cheese still to pit. Out of the top 9, that is that really. I think they'll also come out in the top 5 as well. No, they won't. I will take this time to catch back up to Lemons after he made his pit stop. It's like 22 of 35 here. 13.5 laps still in the offing. Into the pit lane comes Michael Dale. Finally, time for him to pit, which means Ratio will inherit this race lead, and he's built up a nice little gap in front of Smoking Cheese as well. But Lemons is chasing them down at a rate of knots at the moment. Can Arbin come out in front of Michael Dale? We'll have to see as he comes around the final corner. His teammate C1 Tempe fan in tow. But I think Michael Dale might just about be able to hold it. It's going to be close though on the run down towards turn 1, but Michael Dale has definitely got it. And he's on that fresh set of soft tyres to chase after the top 3 before the end of the race. Don't forget, Smoking Cheese still must have a pit stop. He's got medium in this race. He's got a soft stint to come. Will that work for him with the soft tyres not dying as much at the end of the encounter? Adjusting my monitor. But it is a bit loud. Through 6 and 7 then, Arbin will fly, but we're going to really be focusing soon on Lemons catching Cheese, because he is catching him incredibly quickly. That's the purple middle sector. This will be a fastest lap from the Alfa Romeo driver, the champion. A couple of seasons ago, season 5, was when he won this TORL championship. But the pace he's showing at the moment is absolutely extraordinary. He's surely going to get this done towards turn 2, but there is an orange fuel light I see. Let's see, inside line into turn 1. He doesn't even wait for turn 2. Turn 1 is where he gets it done, but he's gone very deep into the corner, but even the exit, he's got that much traction to get it done. He's got 11.6 laps left. And that will get him not to the end of the race. He's got a fuel save. He has got to fuel save. Yeah, you see there on the steering wheel here is Michael Dale. He's got plus 1 lap of fuel. Look here, and he's got minus 0.18. He's got some fuel saving to do with Lemons. Ratio, no such worries for him, I don't believe. Yeah, he's got nearly a full a lap extra fuel himself. So Lemons has got some tactical working to do. Lifting and coasting is a must for him if he wants to get to the end of this race. And with only 13 runners in this race, can't really depend on a safety car. He will be lapping Legends and Tent Cannon very shortly though, who are overtaking each other. Legends getting past Tent Cannon now. On the run towards turn 1, Smoking Cheese comes into the pit lane, and that'll be for his final stop onto a soft set of tyres. But he might come out behind Wardy here, maybe even behind Dean. And Dean might be a bit of a tough nut to crack on those soft tyres as well. Dean's point of view as they come out towards someone, yeah, he's easily going to get past Smoking Cheese, and Smoking Cheese has come out P8 now. And he's got some cars that he must overtake in his ambitions in this race. That's Cannon getting out of the way of the top 2. And Legends is doing it for Ratio on the exit of turn 5 as well. So, Lemus is going to get more ratio here. Or no, it's Legends, but see there? I think he could be there, but I don't believe that the fight's taking him a long time to get out of the way. And he's not necessarily fuel saving the 11, that is not going the right way to count it. Just over 0.2 laps down on the field as we've got 10 to go in this race. Oh, it's Fan and Arbin are fighting in towards turn 1. Fan's getting back past Arbin. Those medium tyres starting to lose a bit of their life. And the hards are coming into their own. Right then. Smoke and Cheese has negotiated past Dean actually, and he's right on the back of Wardy. I'm sure he'll get past Wardy in very short order here. But got to be careful not to make it too soon, make the move too soon before that DRS zone, because otherwise Wardy is going to be able to come back at him. But here we go through that final corner, and Smoke and Cheese should have a lovely run. You can see his next two targets just up the road as well with Arbin and C1 can be Fan, and there goes Smoke and Cheese. Not an issue for him. He's up into that top 6 now, and he's going to be chasing after Arbin, which I'm sure he will start to gobble the time up into in very short order. Lemons, how's that fuel saving going? Not very well. He's got to make sure he finishes the race with some fuel left in that tank. Through turn 12 they go. And into 13. Lemons has finally got the DRS now with ratio. Maybe this is his plan, to try and catch up to the DRS and then start fuel saving, because he's now 0.3 of a lap down. Yeah, look, you can see him lifting and coasting into turn 1. He's not quite choosing to do the short shifting tactic just yet, but there, you see the lift off in towards turn 2. And is this what he's trying to just get to the end of the race, or is he going to settle for P2? And he might not be able to. Michael Dale is chasing him down. But look at how quickly Smoke and Cheese has caught the back of Arbin and and C1 can be found. So, just a second covering these 3 here, but clearly Smoke and Cheese has a lot more pace. Here he comes though, Smoke and Cheese. It's a bit of a switch back into turn 4, and he's got through on Arbin already. The Haas driver has no reply. Might come under a bit of fire from Wardy soon enough. I mean, the top 3 are away though. Legends 3-second time penalty is Lemons will have to do a little bit more fuel saving on this lap around. So then, can Smoke and Cheese get past Fan down towards turn 1? I think this is more of a formality rather than a question to open that DRS. And goodbye, Mr. Aston Martin. I think that will be Smoke and Cheese's cap though, because I don't think we can ever catch Michael Dale very quickly. 15 seconds is a very, very, very big gap. to try and close down. We've got 7 to go though, 6.5 or so actually to go in this race. Lemon's got to stay close. As that fuel saving going, it's working. It's come down to just 0.14. He's got to stay close and those soft types will start to die away. Right then, lap 30 of 35, 6 to go here in this Hungarian Grand Prix. What's the fuel save? Yeah, good stuff from Lemons. He's going to have to keep doing that to the end of the race to get his fuel numbers in check. It's nearly there though. But just about a tenth of a lap over. He's got some work to do. We've already had a safety car in this race, and the fact that he's still over that fuel shows you how much he underfueled the car by. Let's see where the other battles are at. Wardy and Arben are starting to battle. So just about 5 laps to go then as we start this next one. Lemons, how's that fuel number coming along? It's down 2 point. Oh, I mean, it's getting to the point where he might actually be able to start having a go here near the end of the race. If he's got just about enough fuel to try and make it work. See how he does it through the lap. Oh, is that a moment? Oh no. It's Wardy getting past Arben. Oh, but it's Arben getting back past Wardy as they come through 2 and 3, but spin from Legends. And he finds himself now a lap and a half down. Radius is now being lapped as well. As Imri comes into the pit lane, able to go for the fastest lap of the race, he's going to have to settle for P9 here. And he'll be nearly a lap down come the end of the flag, so it's not been a good day for Imri tonight. Not able to get past. Let's have a look at Lemons though. Towards turn 2, he's pretty much even on that fuel. You can just about see that fuel like going yellow to red, yellow to okay really. So it's getting to the point where it's starting to be okay on his fuel. Can he maybe have a go? Michael Dale's penalty means that he's going to have to settle for third really as Wardy gets past Arben. Arben tries to come back at him, but a little bit of near contact on the straight. But Wardy is ahead and up into the top 6. Now maybe you can try and start chasing after C1 Tempe Fan, but those attempts might be futile with only 4 laps to go for them. I do apologise. Smoking cheese through second time penalty. He's got to keep that gap now to Fan here. He's got to. Well, it's okay at the moment, but you know, it's coming out a little difficult for him at the moment. Right then, towards turn 1 we go. And I've lost headset audio. Why is that? I'll try and connect this back up. Can you still hear it on the stream? Oh, what's that? Okay, I'm gonna mute that. I don't know what's going on with the audio there. I can only apologise if something's happened to the audio there. I do not know what has occurred. But you'll just have to cope with my voice for the final couple of laps. I think I've lost. Have I lost game audio? Okay, I do not know what's going on. My headset is playing funny. I do apologise. A lap and a half to go in this race. And Ratio still leads from Lemons, from Michael Dale, who's closed up. But of course, being that close with that penalty, it's not going to help him out too much in the end. Right, I think I've got it back now. I can only apologise, I don't know what is going on with my headset. Let's see, is it back on the party? Yeah, okay, that's better. Ah, okay, I think we fixed it. Wonderful. Lovely stuff, and we're on to the final lap of the race. This is Lemons trying to make his move. Oh, we've lost it again. What is... Right, I do not know what's going on. I can only apologise to you all. I will have to try and fix this. But look, fuel is absolutely is low. He's got less than a lap of fuel now remaining, but he is in the plus, so he should be okay to get to the end of this race. But he leads from Ratio here. We'll have to see how that all works out for him. Through the final few corners, of course, we're into this middle sector of the lap. I think the last man on track to finish will be Legends, but he's nearly 2 laps down here as we come through this final few section of corners. Lemons on the back, just about 4/10 back from Ratio, but he's not going to be close enough to the AlphaTauri driver, I don't think, for the end of this race. They come through the final couple of corners. The medium hard strategy looked like it might not quite work out for Ratio, but it is going to work out for the man in the AlphaTauri. He's driven superbly tonight. He has led pretty much every single lap, and he wins the Hungarian Grand Prix. Lemons will finish second, and Michael Dale third. Those top three very comfortably in front of everybody else. Smoking Cheese has lost some of that time on that soft tyre because, of course, they are starting to degrade. And I think C1 Tempe Fan's going to have enough to take the 4th place here. Smoking Cheese crosses the line, but Fan's going to run up to the line, and he is going to take P4 on the penalties. Wardy comes out of the final corner to take a valiant P6 in the end, and Arbin will be P7. 8 for Dean as he comes across the line on those old soft tyres, but then it'll be 9th for Imri, who is a long way back in this field. He's got a couple of corners to go as the field spread was quite wide by the end of that race. Oh, okay. It seems like there was something wrong with the game there. So everyone's saying that... Oh, okay. Okay, so it wasn't me. Like, it wasn't me. Okay, that makes me feel better. Right then. That makes me feel better. At least it's not something wrong on my end. At least everyone had the issue. But let's see. Let's see. In the end, it was a valiant win for Ratio. Second place will go to Lemons, and third place to Michael Delia. There's the audio again. I don't know what's gone on there. Fan fourth, Smokey's fifth, Wardy, Arben, Dean Imrie and Ginger Nut round out the top 10 with Radius 10th Cannon and Legends rounding out the finishers. Bocky, Pope, Michelle and Kraljevic didn't make the flag, which means it's 13 Brits who get home in the end, plus a Welshman, well 10 Brits, a Welshman, an Englishman and a Northern Irishman. That sounds like the start to the joke, but it is just the TORL Season 7 Hungarian Grand Prix. Great result for Ratio, Lemons and Michael as well. Aston Martin make good gains in the Constructors with AlphaTauri not doing badly either. My thanks for joining me this evening for this one. As we look back to the calendar, next week we'll be going around the circuit Paul Ricard for what will be round 5 of the Takeover Racing League Championship. I actually might be in Monaco when TORL is doing the Monaco Grand Prix, so I won't be here for that one. But I've just noticed that, which makes me chuckle. But yes, thanks to everyone for joining me. We'll be back soon enough for the next instalment of TORL action. But between now and then, we hope you enjoy your week, and we'll see you when we return in Spain. You've already been to Spain. When we return to in France.